Good evening. Welcome to the Camera Artist Guild Thursday Critique. I am your host, George DeLoache. I'm a portrait artist and photographer's coach, and this is where we help photographers learn to master the photographic arts. We're going to jump into the broadcast. We got some great images here tonight, so stay tuned. I'm going to spin around and kick this thing off, and let's get going. Okay, Jerome Lynch. All right, Jerome, working again with this, I guess. Today we got quite a few at the ocean, or the sea, or the lake. And probably from where you are, that's probably Lake Michigan. And I like what you're trying to do, but there's a couple of challenges here. You really picked a very difficult lighting situation to work with. You are dealing with the sun, where even though the sun is going down, it is still up here on the horizon, and it's so bright that it draws your attention away from the people and it tricks your exposure. Now I know you're throwing in artificial light over there, but they are underexposed. They're just underexposed. If you check with the info palette, which is what I do, click the info palette, it opens up these numbers here, go to the pointer tool, and you start checking skin tones. They're in their 80, the skin tones in the 80 levels. And they should not be in the 80 levels, and the gray t-shirts are like 102, 102, 104. Now, your color's right. That's almost a perfectly neutral color. But that gray should be about 128 rather than 102. So, what can we do to pull this one out? Let's see if we can't do a couple of things here to try to pull it out and doll it up just a little bit. The first thing I'm going to do, I always do this even though it's not necessary this time, is Control J, duplicate the layer. I am going to, I'll use that duplicate layer here in a minute. Now I'm going to go to levels, and I'm going to select levels, and in levels I'm going to play around with the levels. I'm going to go to the mid-level slider, the gray, the mid-tones, and I am going to bring that mid-tone up a little bit to lighten up the skin tones. I'm going to bring the white slider in. It's going to brighten it up a little bit more. I'm going to bring the black slider down a little bit to restore a little contrast right about there. I got too much on the mid-tones. Let's take it back to right along in there somewhere. Okay. Now that's pretty good, but now that just blew out this entire area up here and made it even worse. Now how do we deal with that? We go back, click on the layer mask. We're going to fill that mask with black right now. So that I'm going to use Control and Backspace, since my black is on the back side over here. It would be Alt Backspace if it were on the front. But now I filled it with black. Now I'm going to get my brush, and I'm going to have a white brush. I'm going to have a white brush at 100%. And now I'm just going to go in here to where they are, and let me shrink that brush down a little bit so I can be a little more accurate with it. And let's just bring just the area that we lightened up, just them. We're going to bring that back. You should be able to see it lightening up here as we move around. Now, if you want to check what you're doing, is right next to your brackets. You have the P key on your keyboard. You got IOP on the keyboard on the second row from the top. You have a right bracket, a left bracket, and then you have a straight up and down bar. If you click that straight up and down bar, it applies a red mask to the area that you're working with. The area that you're working with is clear. The area that's red is still being affected by the original mask. So now you can see what you're doing. Now you need to switch colors over this time, actually reverse it. But I can look at it right now. Now I can just go in and clean up all of this area here that I want to have. I want to return to the brightened area that I made. Okay, there we go. Now we've got him pretty well done. I know there's a couple of spots there, but we'll just, in the interest of saving time. Now click that bar and it goes back again. Now they're looking good, but now still the sun up there is just really kind of getting to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to this layer mask right here. I'm going to get my patch tool, Control J. I'm going to take that patch tool and I'm just going to select around the sun and around that kind of corona area of the sun, and I'm going to drag it off into a darker area of the page and click it. And now I'm going to clear up this kind of halo here and the kind of halo off on that side and the halo off on this side. Okay. Now, you might say, but I still want the sun. I mean, we at least want to have some indication of the sun. This looks fine. Okay, what we do now is let's go back. We're going to go back that same layer. We're going to go to the opacity slider right here, and we're going to slide that opacity slider back just a little bit until just a hint of that sun comes in. Okay, now there we go. Now we have gone through it. Let's go to the history palette. Let's click the camera icon to take a snapshot of it. This is where we began, and this is where we ended up. Just a couple of things that you can do to make that that situation pop. Hey, Jamie, how you doing, man? Okay, so hope that'll help out. Keep shooting there, Jerome. You're getting better each and every day. Okay, John Harville. John, man, you jumped way out of your lane and going into a product shot here, man. Good move. We have two people, one other person that does a lot of product stuff, Maurice, and we will come across his work here in a moment. Couple of things though. Now, product shots are a different animal, so you really got to think about what you're doing when you put together a product shot. Now, I like the idea that you have her in the background. I would have never chopped her off. I like the fact that she's out of focus. That's great. I like the fact that her hands are gripped, but rotate that cup around so her nails are not interfering with the logo, and so that this TG, the gem, which is the logo, this TG can be seen. It should be right up here. And then if this white bar is blowing that out, then move your position, your camera position, or the light position, so that that bar comes over here and we get the gem sticking straight out in front of the camera without the fingernails getting close to it, because the reflection of the fingernails are also putting a bit of a reflection on the logo. And the main thing is to tell the story. You have a sports bottle, you have a attractive lady in gym attire, and you have the logo. Now the other thing is that there are some kind of marks on the lower end of that bottle. I don't know what they are, whether they're a reflection or whether it's just the fact that the bottle's squeezed and you have those marks there. Those are easy enough to take out. Simply take that same patch tool that I use. Well, now let's duplicate the layer just to be on the safe side, because I may want to, well, how in the world did that happen? I want to duplicate the layer. I don't want to create an additional layer. Okay, let's do Control J. There we go. Duplicate the layer. Take the patch tool. Come right on in on that one spot right there. Let's just move quickly to try to knock out some of those shadows. And there we go there. Be careful not to dip into the white, because otherwise it will flare out into your bottle. And then let's pull that over there. And I went too far with this and ended up with it looking, okay, there we go. Now we've taken out those marks. You really got to stop focusing on every little detail, because this is a product shot. And work on it. But I really commend you for continuing to stretch and to try new things. Okay, let's see where we are. Oh, Herb and Ambrose, welcome. All right. Keith Davis. And Keith, again, Keith loves these unusual shots, and it is an unusual shot. What can I tell you? You carried it off. To me, I think she looks a little stoned, personally, but maybe that just reflects an old lifetime or so ago in my history. No longer today, but back in the day. Still, you executed it well. Everything's working on that one.